Hi-ho, everybody. How are you all doing today?
Well, that's a better angle than the last one we did.
I know. You look tiny in that chair. It's a good angle. Hello, Susie. How are you? You found your phone charger, I see. See, I'm lurking in the background. One of those lurkers. How did I change my top? I'm so quick. So quick. Hello, Lou. Hello, Zena. Who's there? Daisy. Hello, Daisy. Hello, Robert. And
everyone come on again and say hi, because that will lift the algorithm. Put a heart on there, or a thumbs up,
or an eggplant.
Eggplant. Whatever you want to put on.
Hello, Lisa C.
Surprises.
Hello, Maxine.
Surprise us with something. Put on something. And that will just make sure that it's shared out further. Moonbeam.
Aww.
Now, tonight is not tarot night. It is paranormal Q&A. That's what it is, paranormal Q&A.
How quick can we start begging for a reading? We can't tonight, Daisy, because we're doing our questions and answers. Hello, Joanne from the UK. Long time no here. And there's Virginia, Michelle, Lisa Lurker. Luke and Lisa. I love that you love that name. That's made me so happy. Oh, there you are. Stephanie's put an eggplant. Where in this lovely world are you watching from tonight? Not your lounge room, Zena. Anne is looking stunning. Hello. It's probably because I finally battled off my 4th urinary tract infection. You all needed to know that. 4 lots of antibiotics. Too much information. Oversharing. Hello, Nikki. How you doing?
Detroit.
Who's
watching from Detroit?
Lawrence. Hello. Oh, Stephanie is. My office in Waikul. It always sounds like it's way cool. You know what I mean?
Way cool. Melbourne.
Hello, Shane.
We're going to be down there in 2 weeks. No, in 1 week.
We'll be most of the way there. We can't say where we're going to be because it's a secret for the second night. You're near the coffee table above the shoe collection.
Very funny.
Yes, so we are attending the Kling Brothers event that is on next weekend in Melbourne, hosted by the Australian Paranormal Society, and we are their guests, and we thank them very much for their invitation. We are looking forward to catching up with the boys again, the Kling Brothers. It's been many a year since I have seen them. Last time I saw them, they were in the back of my Berliner station wagon, and there was not enough seats, and Beth was sort of flung across the top of them all on the back seat. It was hilarious. We had the best time. It was at Q Station. Such a great night.
It was a good night. I still have some photos.
Oh, jewelry and sun catchers. Wow. Well, there you go, Lou. And we've got cousin Steve coming with us too. I'll be hooning down there in my Tesla with the fridge.
Skull. Lisa, see, they have done a lot of work over the years. They have had lots and lots of programs. They had a whole van and everything set up with all of their gear.
Was it Ghost Lab? Is that what it was?
That they would take out. Yeah, called Ghost Lab.
They had 2 seasons of that. They were very analytical. I liked their way of approaching it.
Yeah.
Hi, TJ. How are you doing? How many times will I have to stop and charge the battery? Probably every 3 hours. I like to charge the battery regularly. So, because I'm still new to driving them, I have this fear that I'll run out of charge, which I don't do. But, yeah, because I've got a long range one as well, so it's good.
Mm.
And it doesn't take long, does it?
No. It allows you to get out and stretch your legs and go have a coffee or go to the toilet or whatever. It actually means that you stop for a moment and the driver gets a break, and the driver gets...
Because I'm not very good at sharing.
Gets a little bit of a reprieve, which is good after 3 hours. 3 hours
I might
is
let you
enough.
drive this time. I might give you a go.
I don't know. Anyway, we are asking for your spiritual paranormal questions. If you have any paranormal questions, anything that may have happened that you are wanting to know more about, then please, now is the time for you to ask, and we will try and do our best to answer it as wisely as we can with the knowledge that we have. I was showing Anne on a group that there was a person that put up probably about 11 photos from a place they had stayed overnight. And they were saying, oh, my gosh, there's so much in these photos. It's amazing. Unfortunately, they also said, what do you think?
That's the mistake.
And I just couldn't. I just couldn't. And I had to say that, unfortunately, they are all artifacts that from light. Lights that are shining outside, lights in the room. Maybe the lens of the camera on the phone was a little bit dirty as well. And that's what you've got to watch. You've got to watch this side and make sure, number one, that it's clean. So you give it a nice rub.
I don't remember, our fingers are on it all the time.
And also the flash is there as well. So if anything comes close to this,
or if this is sitting out a little bit, the flash bounces off the inside of it.
Yeah, or it can end up in the photograph and you go, oh my God, there's a shadow or there's something there, and you think that there could be something going on, but it's not. It's whatever case your phone might be in, and I certainly do need a new one. But we have to learn what this does and what it doesn't do. And this is not going to be as good as a proper camera that is on a tripod. It's just not. It's not.
Who's on Oz Paratech? Is that you, Cousin Steve? Or is it Roman?
So it's not me.
Well, they're the only ones that got access to it.
So there's a lot that you can capture on your camera nowadays. A lot. And it's better than having nothing. Always, I kind of say to people, take a camera out and take photos. You just never know what you're going to capture. But, there's a difference between a $3,000 camera that is just a camera as opposed to a phone that is doing everything. It's a phone, but it's also a camera and, whatever else. So
I just have to remember to put this note up here, because otherwise I will forget and this person will get away with it. Every now and then you just get a dickhead that comes along. So I run Oz Paratech, which is Australia's largest online paranormal equipment store. So if you've got any equipment questions, please feel free to ask. But I have had this happen twice now, where somebody will buy a piece of equipment. It's got a tracking number with it. They get the piece of equipment. It shows that it's been delivered. And then they submit a request for a refund. I don't get an email. I don't get messages. I don't get anything. I just get a message from my store that is hosted on the website saying somebody's asked for a chargeback because they're not happy with their order. Normally, if they want a refund, it's because they didn't receive the equipment, or the equipment arrived broken or something. And then you reach out to the people who sold it to you and you say, hey, I've got a problem with it and I will fix it. I always fix it. But sometimes they just buy the equipment, they receive it, and then they pretend they didn't get it. Now, that's really hard for a small business to foot the bill for you stealing, basically. And it makes me really angry. So now I have to go to Australia Post and prove that the item was delivered, and hopefully they've taken a photo of where it was dropped off. And I've tried contacting this person. Of course, they're not responding at all. And it's going to take me months. And in the meantime, that money is frozen.
Yeah.
It's really sucky. I also had another interesting one. You have a chat while I see if I can find this one, because this is very interesting.
I'm going to answer Daisy's question because Daisy was talking about the fact that she's always been having dreams.
Yeah.
Recurrent dreams of the devil, wolves, toilets, and weird buildings that are never ending. I think I started the dreams when I was about 3 and not even sure if I knew about the devil. Probably, Daisy, this is something that's going on. I know you mentioned later that it's not a paranormal thing, but you wake up frightened. So as a child, our greatest fears are always about safety and security. We learn from the adults and from the people around us what is scary and what is safe. And even though you think that maybe at 3 you didn't know about the devil, there's a lot that you don't remember at 3 years old. There could have been discussion or some fear installed within you at that age because you just didn't feel safe or whatever the circumstances were at home. And so these dreams would have looked very different for a 3-year-old than they would now as you are as an adult. It doesn't mean that the dreams don't stop. They may change form as you grow older and as your brain changes and you get more information about things. Often the whole thing about being scared in your dreams is very much about things that you fear in real life, or trauma, or some form of panic that you might be having, some sort of stress. So stress is usually the catalyst for it to give you dreams like that. And sometimes they are reoccurring dreams, or the theme is reoccurring. Again, for some people, wolves and demons and all of that sort of stuff are going to be something that is really, really fearful. And you're right, it's probably not paranormal, but it is psychological. And if it is bothering you, then you need to have a talk about it and try and work through it to help those dreams stop. Or you kind of just go, oh, it was another one of those weird dreams. Yeah. I have a dream that has reoccurred for me for probably about 20 years. And it comes at a time when things in my life are about to change. And sometimes they happen precognitively, so I don't know the change is coming, but I dream that particular dream, and that tells me, and that dream changes all the time, but the people in that dream remain the same, or the person in the dream remains the same. They always appear. The dream circumstances are different. And sometimes, like I said, it happens prior to a big change or a big bit of news. And sometimes it's the night of or the day after the news, as if I'm still processing. So I hope that might make sense for you.
She said, "Oh my God, I think you cracked it. My grandmother used to lock me in a cupboard. The dream now makes sense."
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You're
Yes.
so clever, Auntie Nada.
Yeah.
Now I've got a couple of things here.
I'm so sorry about that. If you do need to talk to someone about it, please do. But understand that that's your mind just making sense and alerting you that something is stressful for you.
Okay.
Hello, Louisiana Spirits.
Louisiana Spirits, how are you? I was just looking at the footage of some of the stuff we did with you guys. I was trying to remember the name of the bar that we went to. Can't remember it. I'll have to reach out and find out what it is. Hope you're all doing well. We still want to come over and speak at your conference. And tell them you've consulted your cards and you're not going to tell them about the horrors awaiting if they don't tell the truth. Oh, yeah, I may have used that sometimes on dodgy telemarketers. We're going, you don't know who you've just contacted. I am going to draw a curse upon you and your generations. Anyway. Bianca, hello. What is your appearance? What is your opinion, please, on spirit boxes or the spirit box app? Are they safe or do they invite all kinds of spirits? Thank you. For me, they are all a tool, and you have to use common sense and discernment. And they talk about discernment when it comes to exorcisms in the Catholic Church as well, that you don't just assume everything is evil or whatever. You've got to use common sense, really. If you are getting gobbledygook and you are asking a question and you are not getting an answer, then you don't have a connection or they don't want to talk to you or it doesn't work. If you get words that you hear coming through and you start to, it's not answering questions, but you start to make a story from those words and try to link it together, you are creating a false narrative. It's not real. So the way you know you've got something interesting is when they answer your questions. Now, the best way that I have found to do it is to use the Estes method, because when we are listening to spirit boxes and we're asking a question, we are hoping to hear a certain answer to confirm the belief that we have. We call it confirmation bias. So if we were at Maitland Jail and we're going to say, who lived in cell 4, we'd all be wanting it to say Ivan Milat. So any sort of bit of sound that came out, we would be trying to interpret that as something to do with him. But if we put somebody onto the headphones and they're listening to that spirit box and they're just calling out whatever they hear, they can't hear the questions. They're not influenced to what the answer might be, and we start getting answers. I find that fascinating. We had that happen recently. It was just at Parramatta Jail. Oh my God, have you guys done Parramatta Jail? Look up Appy, APPI, and go do Parramatta Jail. That was insane. We were getting cell numbers and names and what was happening to them, and it was, whoo. So that's my thought on spirit boxes. The apps, again, if it listens to your, if it has access to your microphone, or if it has access to the internet, or if it has access to your location, I wouldn't trust it because it will give you what you want to hear. If you have it on airplane mode and you're using it and you start to get intelligent responses again, that's interesting. But if it's just random words, don't string it together and make a story and say, look, I'm special. Do they invite negative spirits in? I'll hand that one to you.
Again, it's about staying in control, Bianca, and being in control of the conversation and where it's going, and understanding when it is time to stop or be honest and say, this isn't making any sense.
Let's try something different.
And we have done that before. We have gone, this is not going anywhere. Let's just stop it. And remember, you've got a couple of things that are going on when you're using your spirit box. The spirit box is delivering you words or sentences, and you are using your brain with the information that's sitting in there to try and make sense of what you're hearing. So you can have 5 people sitting in a row listening to the same thing, and all 5 people may be hearing something different. So how does that work when you're looking for the type of information to come through as being honest and objective to the question that you have answered? In all of this, hello, Dottie. How are you? In all of this, it's us sitting in the middle, and we are just human beings trying to work out all of this stuff. And we have hopes that we are making proper connections. We have an imagination that likes to fill in gaps. We have a real desire to be the best paranormal investigators or ghost hunters there is, and therefore we don't want to come off without having some sort of a result. When you're sitting at home using a spirit box, or when you're in an investigation somewhere and you're using your spirit box, you want to hear paranormal evidence coming through. You just have to really, really be careful that if you're assuming that a spirit is intelligent enough to be able to work the spirit box or work with a spirit box, that they're going to be intelligent enough to answer at least 1 or 2 of the questions you're asking. So, that's kind of the bottom line, and just be in charge. If you're hearing or feeling that you're hearing something that doesn't feel good for you, there's an off button. Turn it off. Don't respond. Just turn it off and go, I'm just going to leave it for a while. I don't feel good about it. Yeah.
And we found somebody who has a particular talent for this, and it was a shock to them as it was to us. And it was Cousin Steve. He's freaking amazing on it. Sometimes we have to stop because he seems to be going deep, like really deep. Crazy good. Yeah, and was telling family secrets at one location.
So I hope that helps, Bianca. Let us know. Just put a comment if that helps, or if you have another question with regard to that.
Oh, good on you, Leanne. I hope you get some success with that one.
Disability Paranormal. Do you have a Facebook page, Leanne? And we can put that up, and maybe some people would like to join.
And Stephanie, have you ever seen spirit in colour such as yellow?
That's a good question. I personally haven't. I haven't. If you want to tell us something more about your experience, that would be great.
I'm just what I'm doing is I'm just going through it and finding the questions, and then I can come back to them. We have. I wonder if it's like auras, the colours, but some people colour is their thing. And then Maxine said, hey, that diamond painting looks pretty awesome, doesn't it? Thank you, Maxine. It's generally up the back there somewhere. Got me thinking more about astral projection and if I was in an alternate universe. Quiddity, are you going randonauting? Remember we did that with Steve?
Yes. We might try that in America because I think they have more sites. We might give it a go.
Yeah.
It was
I'll
fun.
buy some credits and give it a crack.
Yeah, it was fun when we did it. So we might.
It's hilarious.
We might give it another go.
But we forgot to turn the camera on. Or we did something. Steve wants to see a puce poltergeist. It's hard to say. We have another question here. Why are people scared of Ouija boards, and how are they different to inviting spirits to communicate using other equipment? For me, they're not any different to using other equipment. Any piece of equipment you pick up and use is an invitation to the spirit world to come and talk to you and communicate. You've opened the door. Set your boundaries. The reason why people are so terrified of them is because of Hollywood, because of religion. People regurgitating information without researching it, remembering a bad experience they had when they were a teenager, which is normally when somebody's either playing tricks on them or there might have been a bit of alcohol or something involved, and spooking each other late at night. I collect them. I don't have issues with them. I rarely get anything useful out of them.
For some people, it's their forte, and there are so many
and
things.
Vicky's turned out to be really good on it.
Yeah, there are so many things that we can use in spirit communication, and some things work for some people and not for others. And your job is to find what you are good at, and trying not to be good at everything, because you can't. You can't be good at everything. But there's usually one thing that you are really good at, and that's what you need to try and work at. And yeah, Ouija boards have had a really bad rap. And over the years of working at Maitland Jail, if you even mention the word Ouija board, people would just turn around and walk away.
I used to love it. One of my great joys was when we were doing the residence, and we'd be explaining how the night was going to work, and I would say, and then we're going to split up into two groups. One group's going to go upstairs and do the sensory deprivation, and the other group's going to go downstairs and use old-fashioned spirit communication, one of which is a Ouija board. And I'd watch their faces. They go, it was the best.
We're going to die.
Matt, hello, Matt. Oh, the veggie-plasm. Oh, dear. Yes. How you doing, Matt? And now we had some other things up here as well. Let me get rid of that one. What is your take on shadow figures? Are they evil or nasty? No. For me, it's just they're not fully formed. They don't have the energy to bring together to show themselves, or we don't have the ability to see them in their full form, or they're choosing not to show themselves in full form. I don't think they're evil or nasty. I think it's just the whole idea of the unknown, because you can't see them, because you can't work out if what they are. Your body doesn't know how to react, so it just reacts with the fight or flight. And they've been labelled as evil, nasty all the time.
We've got a whole genre of things now that we look for, or that people look for when they're ghost hunting or paranormal investigating, that didn't exist 50 years ago or 40 years ago. There were no names for them, and people did not see them. So it's interesting that they're here now. And once something gets mentioned and bandied around for a while, it seems to then appear everywhere. And we are currently researching a podcast episode that talks very much about this.
Well, you are. I've been preparing a Salem trip.
And oh no, we actually just recorded it. We recorded it a couple of days ago. The one.
I recorded and it's gone.
Yeah. So you kind of have to be careful what you're viewing, and this is the thing that came up about it. You have to be careful what you're viewing when it comes to paranormal investigating and ghost hunting, what the belief systems are behind what is coming up. Mm-hmm. And are people trying to scare you? Do they really know what they're talking about, or are they regurgitating information that they have seen on TV shows or in other things?
And trying to sound like experts?
Can they kind of inform you more on what is actually going on? Because the whole thing about dark shadows too, a lot of people will say, yes, I've been scared by something like this and it's been terrifying. Absolutely, totally. Do they know what it is, what is behind it, why it is there? Are those questions asked in determining whether this thing is evil or not? Because it scares you doesn't necessarily mean that it's evil. It may not be trying to scare you. It's just that when you wake up, it appears to be there. And so you are, as a human being, startled or scared. It may not mean that it is going to be evil or going to try and attack you. So this, and people get really pissed off that we ask so many questions, but we need to ask questions so that we can determine what we're dealing with.
Hello, Casbar Music. How you doing? How did you get that name? How did that come about? That fascinates me. Stephanie, was this referring to the colours? I think I saw a spirit in yellow. They were from old money. It was odd, and they were wondering why everyone was at the house. I explained it was a wedding. How very interesting. Thank you, Stephanie. Lou said, I was a Johnny come lately to your Diary of a Ghost Hunter podcast. I downloaded and listened on the planes to and from Europe lately. Woohoo! I like that. Are you going to post any more? I'm sorry. Yes.
We
had a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah. There's been a lot going on. We are the ducks that are gliding along the pond with the feet underneath. We're trying to do a lot of work in very little time. Very little time that is allowed for us to actually work. We are trying to do as much as we can. But yes, there will be more Diary of a Ghost Hunter coming up.
Yep. But thank you for listening. Really appreciate it. Are auras paranormal? I used to see my local vicar always surrounded in white. Another person at church had a light green shadow around them.
Not everyone can see auras, Daisy, and you're very lucky that you can. You can use that as a little bit of a superpower, and if you work with colours a little bit more, they might make you or give you a better understanding of why someone might be looking as white and someone else might be looking at green or red or whatever it might be, because it's the energy vibration that you're getting that gives you that particular color. Now, is it paranormal? Well, it's not normal, so it's probably paranormal if you want to quote it that way. Would it be something that is ghostly? No. But it's definitely paranormal.
Yeah, Casbar said, my muso mates gave me the nickname from the Clash song. Rock the Casbah, rock the Casbah. Thank you. That makes sense. We're of that era. We understand. We used to have a lovely restaurant here in Newcastle called the Casbah.
Yes, spent many a fun night there.
I think Roman was actually peeling veggies there for a while.
Oh,
yeah, okay. Good question, thank you. Valerie, I had a visitation of a friend who was in the colour of gold. I wondered why that would happen too. Perhaps to show they're in a spirit form and happy. Well, gold's a colour of wealth and prosperity and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I think possibly. Thoughts on spirits from one location turning up another. This happens to us. Do you think you've created a subconscious psychic link with them by connecting previously unexpected visits? I think because we were in a jail, we were really hoping that we could connect with some of our regulars that we missed dreadfully from Maitland Jail. We missed them so much and get so excited when their names come up, particularly the name Steve. Steve seems to take over the conversation every time. We're not talking about cousin Steve. We're talking about Spirit Steve. But we're very grateful. And I have trigger questions which I will ask. So if we get the name Philip, I'll say, what do you think of women? And then we know if it's our Philip or another Philip that doesn't like women. But yeah, I think we draw them in, or is it our subconscious projecting it?
Either or, I guess.
Either or.
You know, it's are we there, or are they here, or are we somewhere in between meeting? Is it possible for them to be elsewhere and use the spirit box? I don't know. All I know is it does happen and has happened.
My aura is powdered sugar. Dave, you're funny. Anyone going to the House of Horrors, Darlinghurst Prison tomorrow? We'll be there. We're going to be there at the 5 o'clock session, and we're going to be playing with gadgets beforehand. So if you are coming along, come and say hello. All right, hang on. Let me jump back up into there. Hello, Penny. What's your favourite paranormal tool to use? One each. Renata's my favourite tool to use.
Shut up.
Go on, off you go. She likes a K2.
No.
I remember bringing Penny into the front room in my very early days of ghost hunting and her mum, and that was my music room. And I'm going to go and turn all the power off to the box. And I turned off all the power to the box, and I turned on my K2 and I said, look, there's ghosts. It's lighting up.
God love you.
She was there right from the beginning, weren't you, Penny?
I still would like to do much more work, and I don't, but I would like to do much more work with a voice recorder.
Yes.
And just record.
Yeah.
Just record and listen back to see whether I got anything.
I used to get EVPs when I had time to sit and do it and do
Yeah.
it properly, and I really miss not doing that. I still like the Estes method with the headphones and the spirit box because it fascinates me when you get that string of questions that just all of a sudden start getting answered correctly.
Yeah, it's so lovely. We had a group last week at Wollombi, and they put their heart and soul into the sessions. It was so overwhelmingly gorgeous that I felt like I was going to cry because they were so awesome. They were just so awesome. And it makes such a difference when that happens, because you're really, and they were great. They were great. You're really just tuning in and allowing things to happen. It's great. Thank you, Joanne.
Oh my God, Joanne.
Thank you so much. It's
Thank
so
you.
appreciated.
You are just, honestly, one of the most beautiful people. Thank you for your generosity.
Melanie, the Poopas is recorded, so
Yeah,
go back
and watch it.
Yeah.
I was watching, I'm getting Mossborough Hall out the other day. Hopefully we can edit it together. I'm finally getting all the footage organised. I've had a fixation on the video footage because I realised that when I was sending stuff over to Steve to edit, that there was stuff missing. And I'm going, where is it all? And then I realised I've got about 30 SD cards. I've got about 4 external hard drives. I have got Google as well and Dropbox, and there was stuff everywhere. So I've actually started a catalogue to be able to find everything and show where it is so I can get it, because it was going to take too long to drag it all into one location. So now it's I'm only about 10% through of everything. But
have we told everyone we're staying at the Lizzie Borden house?
Oh,
we're staying at the Lizzie Borden house. We're staying overnight.
Yes, our America trip is coming up in 4 months. It's 4 months, is it?
Less than that, probably 19 weeks or something.
Anywho, we leave on the 14th of October, and we are heading over to St. Louis, Missouri, and we are staying at the Lemp Mansion. And then we are driving out to Steve's bucket list, because cousin Steve is coming with us. He's going to video, and he's getting a proper cameraman. He's a friend over there who's going to come film. God help them.
I need to lose some weight.
We're going to...
Hey?
Where are we going?
We're going to the Conjuring House.
What? Waverly Hills.
Oh, Waverly Hills. We're going to Waverly Hills.
Please. We're going to Waverly Hills, and
Yes.
we have booked that, and we will be joined by Patrick from the Big Seance podcast.
Yeah, jump on over
and he's got
listen
some
to
friends
his.
coming as well.
Yeah.
And Melanie, It's Mel.
Mel.
From America is coming to join us as well. And then we are going to continue on, and we pass through Trans-Allegheny Asylum, and
we're doing a day tour there, aren't we?
Yes, because we can't afford to stay for the night. And then the West Virginia, was it West Virginia? I can't remember. There's one other one that we're going to go through as well. And then we end up in Boston, where we're going to pick up our group for a frightfully good adventure. And our very first stop is the Conjuring House. So we're going to head into there and do a 90-minute tour with a little tiny bit of paranormal investigation, because there was nothing left for us to book at this stage.
What do you reckon they're going to give us? K2 meters. They're going to give us K2 meters.
I saw the REM pod there. And we've just booked a accommodation for our little group from the 1880s, and Teddy Roosevelt used to stay there apparently. And then we've still got to book in a few bits and pieces. We've got the list because we've only just picked this up to take over this week. And we are finishing up the whole tour, booking out the whole Lizzie Borden house to investigate.
You guys are going to be so photo-bombed over October. I tell you what. Yeah, from the second week of October to the beginning of November, it is going to be full-on lives and photos. So
You're not wrong, Lou.
You will get so sick of everything that we send
Robert,
you.
be careful at Lizzie Borden house. He said there's a hacker.
Oh.
Yes, so that's our plan. If those who have been listening to True Hauntings podcast would have seen, there was a switch over with Patrick from the Big Seance podcast where we put up his interview with Yvette Fielding. So go check it out.
That is worth listening to. It's really good. Really good.
All right, Willow.
She's a hoot.
Have either of you walked into a building or house and picked up on something like a spirit or entity?
Yes.
All the time.
All the time.
She'll be sitting, she'll go, hello, Auntie Zell, how are you?
Yeah, I tend to do that. And that makes it really interesting for when I go into places that people say are haunted, and I kind of go, I'm really not feeling anything. And that again, it may not necessarily be that there is nothing there. There may just be nothing there for me at that particular time. So we kind of have to trust that what people are telling us is the reality of what is happening. But yeah, I tend to do that.
Yes, Stephanie, I saw that as well. The house where she moved to afterwards. I remember Adam and Amy went over there and did an investigation, and it looked really cool. That we could have paid a little bit extra, and all of our people would have received a little axe under their pillow.
Oh no, really?
You imagine trying to get that back into the suitcase and through Australian airport.
They've got surely they've got a gift shop.
They do, but you can buy a little axe. Why don't you get a keychain?
Can we get a T-shirt with an axe on it?
Yeah.
Hacked to death at the Lizzie Borden house.
And have something go like that. Coffee. Hack. No. Penny, I'm sure some ghost just like, no, not talking to this one. I
guarantee. And that has happened so many times when people have called us and we've walked in and we've gotten absolutely nothing, and then we've walked out and then they ring us and go, it's all happening, because they have created their connection to the people in the house, not to us. We're strangers. So there's got to be a really good reason why they want to come out and talk to us.
Thank you, Kristen. Welcome to the crazy family. We're all a little nutty here. All right, I've got more questions up here. Lawrence. Hello, Lawrence. Why do some people see spirits, etc., and some don't? I tend to sense their presence as well.
Yeah, it's like everything else. There is a variety or a gauge of your psychic abilities or your psychic senses. So for some people it's not a lot, and for some people it's all the way out there, and they seem to not be able to turn it off, and it's just ongoing 24 hours a day, which would be just so enormously energy draining. I feel really sorry for people who are bombarded with these things all the time. But again, it's
I've got an analogy for you.
It's us. It's us. And can we strengthen the ability to be more intuitive? Yes, we can with work. But Mother Nature has gifted some people with a lot of ability and others with none. And there's not much you can do about that.
Let me give you my analogy, because I do enjoy it. Singing. There are some people who are naturally gifted and they will just start singing in the most beautiful voices with no lessons, no nothing. They've just got it. Then you've got other people who have got a raw ability but can't control it. It's all over the place. They have hit and miss moments where they sound good and then they just sound like shit. Then you've got people who can't sing a note and tune whatsoever. So this is all degrees of ability that they have been gifted or have in their life. Can it be trained? Yes, it can. You can be trained to be a good singer, but there are some who can be trained to sing and tune but will never be great. There are some people that will never be able to pitch a note. But the ones that worry me are the ones who think they're fabulous singers and they're crap. And that works in the psychic world as well. They think they are the most gifted singers out there and will sing non-stop, whether you want to hear them or not, but don't have a tad of ability. Oh dear. I went there. Hey, Blonde John, how you doing?
Just watch, is it Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent or something, and you'll have a look, you'll see. We were watching one of the recordings, I think, from many, many years ago, and there were kids, like 7-year-old. There was a 7-year-old young boy that came on, and he was, you could swear that he was possessed by some 30-year-old who had so much experience that it was unbelievable. This kid had so much confidence, and his voice was freaking amazing. And
they're a freak of nature.
They are. It's just, you're kind of listening and going, is this for real?
Beyond their years.
Yeah.
All right, Blonde John. Hi, girls. Is there any place in the UK you haven't explored yet and would love to? Let me get my list.
Just everywhere.
Every jail, every prison, every castle, every poorhouse, every insane asylum,
every cemetery,
every hospital, anything dark sort of history, pagan sites, anything. I just want to go and sit there and listen and be part of it.
And share it.
And we want
you guys to see it too. We want to be there.
Which is what our videos are all about on YouTube, apart from these ones.
We want to be there so that we can show you guys those places. So, because I mean, it's only better when it's shared. We like doing it.
This is why I love taking people away with us, because I love to show them my favourite places and my special places and see if they have the same reaction that I do. And that happened like at St. Bridget's Well.
Yeah.
Barb had the most profound experience there and awoke. It's just, I love it. I want to take more of you away with me. Violet Vet, thank you so much. You're so generous. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. That is helping us with our America trip at the moment because we need all the help we can get.
We've been to Shitterton, Dave. We only need to go there once.
It smelt bad. It smelt like shit. Just saying.
Yeah, there were sheep in the meadow.
There was cows.
Little cows.
Cows. Had either of you had a spirit or entity actually follow you home? If so, how did you manage to get them separated? Only recently. I've been sick for quite some time, and she's walked in and gone, what the fuck have you got on you? And so we went to Parramatta Jail, and he said, don't worry, we'll leave it there. And
you did.
I'd forgotten about it, and I got back and I went, I feel better. And I went, oh, shit.
Yeah. So it does happen.
It
does happen.
And I mean,
it usually takes a couple of days to realise, because you're feeling off and you think you may have caught something from someone. And so I think it's the depression. It's that feeling of real heaviness that is the difference. But again, sometimes it can take a couple of days before you even notice that there could be something that's a little bit more than just a health thing.
And the way I have got rid of it before is I suddenly realize I'm not feeling myself, and I'll say, okay, I'm aware of you now. I know you're there. I don't know how you attached yourself to me, but I'm removing whatever permission it was I gave you to be attached to me. You no longer have any permission to be associated with me or my environment. Get out now, get back to where you came from, and you've just got to keep saying it and reminding yourself every time you start to think on it or ponder on it, just go, nope, you do not have permission to be here, go away. And that generally does it. Once you're sort of aware of it, that does it.
Mm. And there are little things that you can do and always have as a backup. You can actually buy soap with sage in it. And when you take a shower, especially if you've been out somewhere and you're not quite sure whether, you're going to come home with something or not feeling too well, have a shower with the sage soap, or do a light smudging, whatever it might be that it takes. Do that. It only takes a few minutes to do.
Yes, Scott, we are still live. No, we're faking it. We're faking it. Oh, thank you, Lawrence. Very kind. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and experiences and for keeping it real.
We always do.
And that's what we realised on this last podcast that we did, that it's really important. There are some people out there like us who are keeping it grounded out there. Right, let me get back up into the starred area. We did that one. Hello, hide and seek. Is that you, John? Nice to see you again. I spoke to you on the phone today. Casbar said, been to Maitland Jail, really want to go at night.
Yeah, Saturday. It's closed at the moment with no date for reopening.
Yes, they need to get their act together. Fremantle Jail apparently is pretty good. We should take a trip there. It's fabulous.
Yeah,
they do a really good job there of their tours and the way it's set up. Very impressive. And we've tried to do an investigation there before, and they said no. Have either of you seen little people on your travels?
Well, speaking of which, we've just come back from Ireland. But we did go to a fairy farm where there are allegedly fairies on the land that this gentleman owns. He does have a fairy tree. He does do group trips around the fairy fort that he has on the farm and everything. And I do have to say that it was one of our most amazing and special things that we did when we were over in Ireland. It was glorious to really immerse yourself in the mythology of a place where, it was just given to you in such a way that you felt it. You really felt it.
I don't think it was Kevin. Can't remember his name. Pat Noon. Pat Noon it was. It was an experience, to say the least. At least it was actually a hoot. And there was a bit of a vibe up there. There really was. Thank you, guys. I'd love to join you both. Well, we're coming to Melbourne next weekend. I want to go to, is it Grannies? Was it not Grannies? The other one. Because we're going to take Steve.
Yeah.
The Italian...
Brunettis.
Oh, my God. We've got some time off during the day. It just depends how far out of Melbourne we're going to be. But we will be down that way, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah, Willow, there's a paranormal get-together that's happening with the Australian Paranormal Society. They have hosted two American paranormal investigators that have been in the game for years and years and years. And they are going to be doing a talk, and they're going to be doing an investigation. I think the investigation is sold out, but I think you can still get tickets for the talk. So go on to...
I think they were putting on a second investigation too. I can't remember.
Yeah, Australian Paranormal Society, and see whether you can get a ticket.
This is a very good question. Hi, Trudy and Kelly. Thank you for your question. How can you concentrate on psychic work if you have PTSD? Now I'm going to hand that one to you.
That is really interesting.
Very good question.
It's a very good question. And it's, again, Trudy, about having someone there that can help and assist you, like a mentor, to get through the blocks. So when you're hitting a block, and it may be because of the PTSD, a good mentor will guide you through so that you can follow through and do a little bit more every time, a little bit more and a little bit more. Most normal people who don't have any sort of stress or trauma in their lives find psychic work difficult, because you're going into an area that is so out of the normal that you really have to trust yourself and stay grounded. And I would probably say that doing it the right way would probably help with PTSD. It probably would, but you've just got to have the right person, Trudy, to be able to help you work through it and work with it, and trust in yourself.
And I would work on it for you, not helping other people.
Yes, first and foremost, you have to help yourself.
You have to help yourself. Don't be helping other people.
Because they can screw your mind.
They can. And they will drain you dry. What is a fairy tree?
Well, a fairy tree is where fairies live.
Of course.
And there are many, and these are, again, very much steeped in the mythology of places like Ireland, where they actually build their roadways around fairy trees. Heaven help you cut a fairy tree down, or hell will break loose. So you will see roads and highways go around in different directions.
Literally.
You will also see fields where the whole field may have been ploughed through except for one tree that's sitting there, which is a fairy tree. And it's a particular type of tree which escapes me now.
Hawthorn?
Escapes me now. I think it could be a hawthorn. But you cannot get rid of them.
Never cut them down.
Don't cut them down. So they're fairy trees.
And people will tie bits of cloth and things to them to ask the fairies for a boon, a favour. Pat Noon Farm in Green Hills Farm, Galway. So Lisa's all over it. Yes, we did see what happened at the Stonehenge. What is the point of that? They were the most stupid people ever, throwing orange stuff all over the Stonehenge. Yeah. Just disgusting.
Yeah.
So much for being conservatives. Good God. Brunetti's. Brunetti's donuts, Brunetti's cakes, Brunetti's pasta, Brunetti's coffee, Brunetti's garlic bread. All of it. Would you visit cities like Prague or Bruges, considering they still retain most of the ancient buildings?
We have been to Prague.
We've been. Stumbled across one of those videos in my sorting out too, where Renata and I are walking across the
the bridge.
The bridge. What's the bridge called? It's a very English name.
It's the bridge with all of the
statues.
Statues on it.
And
we make up some stories.
We decided we were bored, and so we started making up stories about what the statues are all about. It's hilarious. It will go up on YouTube.
I haven't been to Bruges. Would love to go to Bruges, but Prague is
Prague's amazing.
Really
Apart from people scamming you for every cent you got, getting the tourists. But we went on a ghost. There was a where we went to that person who had all the museums set up with all the ghost stories and everything. We bought a book from there. It was memorable. He was dressed up as a monk, don't you remember?
Oh, yes. Yes. And you walked through, and it was set up with all of the alchemists, and they were in different settings, and it was awesome. It was really, really good.
How do you investigate on Aboriginal land? I really want to ask questions, but I'm nervous on how to approach this. I personally would not investigate on Aboriginal land without someone from the clan that was there with us. leading us, and we're invited.
Yep, someone with a cultural background of the area needs to really be with you. Then you can ask questions, I guess. But
and I have done it a couple of times with some amazing people and learning the culture and the stories and everything. And I've got goosebumps just thinking about it. It was great.
Yeah, I think it deepens our ability to really connect. But it's got to be with, again, the right people who will do that for you. And you just have to be respectful. We think we own everything out there. And just because you're a paranormal investigator, you should go anywhere you want to because you're doing an investigation. No, you cannot. You have to ask permission. And you can't break the bloody law. Just because there's a house over there and you want to go in doesn't mean that you can. People?
Well, just send us a message privately and we'll sort that one out for you. Also, if you have anyone that starts replying to you on here that they are a psychic or a medium and they've got a message for you, please do not reply to them. They are scammers. Love you guys. You always give me a great laugh when I've had a hard shift. I work as an ICU, PCU travel nurse in America. Wow.
Wow, Lisa.
Whereabouts, which part of the country are you in? Because we're going to be there soon. I'm glad we could lighten your day for you.
Oh, Natalie, it's cold in Melbourne.
It's freezing. Yay!
I'm going to have to take all my woolies and everything.
Okay, how do I get spirits to stop bombarding me at times with too much information?
You have to tell them. And so it may get a point beyond asking. You have to tell them. This is not the appropriate time. I am not going to write it down. I am not listening to you. I am at work, or I need to sleep, or you cannot follow me into this room. So it is very much about putting those boundaries in, Trudy, and keeping on doing it.
Sometimes, like I remember Lisa Williams used to put on a hat to say, that's my sign to say my communication has stopped. So if that's what you need to do put a ring on or put a bracelet on and say, this is my sign that I'm turning off the communication. And then every time, you think messages are coming through, just sort of, no, my sign is up.
Oh, we said the fairy word.
Several times. We're over that now. We're friends with the fairies, remember? Yeah, Charles Bridge. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
That was Robert.
Oh, thank you, Robert.
This is Shine, whatever you call it. It's an El Cheapo, but I love it.
Genesis.
Okay, Genesis. I have a tittle of taking out the most ghosts and demons on flat earth. I'm the Messiah. I didn't choose this life. The life chose me. Good on you, Genesis. That's a great title to be wearing. Wow, that must weigh you down quite heavily. I don't think I could cope with that.
No.
Oh, the little demons out there.
The Messiah.
No.
Good on you, mate. Hope it's working for you.
Alison Dubois wears a block, the Spirit's hat. Oh, that's who it was. Well, I know that somebody had a hat. I thought it was Lisa Williams too. I thought she used to put on like a big hat. Hello, Lorna Topia. How you doing? Oh, you're welcome. You are absolutely welcome, Trudy. Thanks for being here.
We're over an hour,
Oh, are we?
We need to finish up.
Oh, do we? Oh, all right. But the Messiah's just come on. He might have more. The Messiah might have more things to
Taking
say
out
to
the
us.
most goats.
Goats.
And demons.
That's it. They've got the goats
on flat earth. That must be a game. Surely it's a game. Surely.
He's just a naughty boy. Not the
Yes,
Messiah.
Scott. Find an elder. Look, sometimes they are so open and just so happy that they've got someone who wants to listen to their stories and learn more. So my husband talks to people all the time, and he says he gets the best conversations out of
Because she's shit to talk to.
out of people. Yeah, so if you give them a moment of their time,
no, thank you.
If you give them a moment of your time, they will give you a lot.
Thank you, beautiful. That really helps at the moment. We really appreciate that. You can do it without hurting people. It's always a bit of spiritual lube always helps there, doesn't it? Gonna get in trouble, aren't I? You guys know I love it when we get the sires on. Oh. They always come at the very end too, right? And like it's come on, get on earlier. Do you have a message for me, Genesis Arcane? Do you have a message for me?
We need a message from the Messiah.
Yeah, come on, you're the best ever. Let's give me a prophetic message that can help me.
Before we block you, Genesis, give us a message.
I'm enjoying it. They've done nothing wrong. I'm not blocking them. There's no ego there whatsoever.
I'm the best ever. There's no ego.
No ego. They are just here for the spiritual journey.
Right.
Yeah, next time come on earlier, Genesis, so we can have some fun. As you can see, we're super serious on here. We're not going to heaven. Jesus won't have us. Your second coming was late, was it?
Oh no, Scott! One of our mugs was $1. How dare they? Dear, someone's chucked it out already. Oh, I bet you know who that. I bet I know who that is. Did you get it on the Central Coast?
Where was it? What suburb was it? Just out of interest, I'm curious now.
I bet you it was on the Central Coast.
Satan has a restraining order against us.
Oh dear.
Absolutely.
I'm glad. Cardiff. All right.
Oh yes, I know it. There's several people that could have come from. Several.
Oh.
Anyway, I know there were some people doing a big clean out recently. We are going to head off. Thank you, Genesis, for coming on and give us a smile as well. To get off the cross, somebody needs the wood. Get off the cross. We need to build a bridge. Right. Let's get. I did that one. We need to get out of here. We're off to Sydney tomorrow. Renata may be on ABC Radio tomorrow afternoon. Not sure. But we'll head off and we'll talk to you all next time. In the meantime, be frightfully good.
Stay spooky.
See you on the dark side and
don't be a dickhead.
Bye, everyone.